happens if a divorce court order is ignored? Let's discuss the options. When an ex-spouse breaches a court order, it can lead to serious issues: unpaid maintenance, missed child access, or even refusal to transfer assets. Fortunately, there are remedies to address these breaches. Amicable settlement. This is the first and most peaceful option. It involves direct negotiation to resolve the issue, often with legal guidance. Courts encourage this approach as it helps maintain a cooperative relationship, especially for co-parenting. Enforcement proceedings. If a settlement fails, you can always apply to the court to enforce the order. For example, the court may compel payment of overdue maintenance or even impose penalties for non-compliance. Variation of orders. If circumstances have changed, like financial hardship, the court can modify the original order to make it practical and fair. Committal proceedings. As a very last resort, the court can impose fines or even imprisonment for contempt of court. These measures aim to protect everyone involved, especially children, and ensure compliance with court orders. What can you do if your ex-spouse refuses to follow a court order? Here's how enforcement works. When negotiation fails, enforcement proceedings can compel compliance. You need to file a summons and a supporting affidavit detailing the breach. For example, if maintenance has not been paid, you can request the court to order a few things: payment of outstanding maintenance in a lump sum or installments, a garnishee order where the defaulter's employer deducts payments from their salary, community service or financial counseling. Recent amendments to the Women's Charter also allow compensatory access for missed parenting time or expenses caused by breaches of access points. Enforcement ensures the other party respects their obligations and protects the rights of everyone involved. Can a divorce court order be changed after it's been issued? Absolutely. Here's how it works. Life changes and so can divorce orders. If both parties agree, variations can be straightforward. For example, if a consent order says to sell an HDB flat by a certain date but it doesn't happen, an uncontested variation can adjust the timeline. When there's disagreement, things can sometimes get more complex. A party must then prove a material change in circumstances, such as losing a job, developing a health condition, or relocating overseas. Misrepresentation, like a false income claim that led to an unfair maintenance order, can also justify changes. The court prioritizes practicality and fairness. Whether it's a change in finances, living situations, or custody arrangements, variations ensure that court orders remain relevant and equitable as life evolves. This flexibility protects both parties and, most importantly, the children involved. What if a divorce order was based on false or incorrect information? Let's talk about variation. If a court order is founded on misrepresentation or a mistake of fact, it can be modified. For instance, imagine a spouse hides income or exaggerates expenses during a maintenance hearing, leading to an unfairly low or high order. This comes to light, and then the affected party can apply for a variation. Mistakes can also arise from a misunderstanding, like thinking that you can qualify for an HDB flat or a loan only to find out later that you don't. These errors can leave one party unable to fulfill the court order, prompting a necessary revision. The court ensures fairness by revisiting the order to reflect accurate information. When the foundation of an order is flawed, adjusting it ensures justice and fairness for all parties involved. What if life changes make a divorce court order unfair? Courts can adjust orders for material changes. A material change in circumstances is a significant shift that happens after the original order, like job loss, illness, or relocation. For example, in one case, a husband's monthly maintenance payment was reduced from $4,200 to about $2,000 after 14 years. because both parties' financial situations had already evolved. To determine if a change is material, the court will ask questions. Number 1. Is the change different from the situation at the time of the order? Number 2. Did the change occur after the order was issued? Number 3. Is the change serious enough to make the original order unfair? These adjustments ensure that court orders remain practical and just, reflecting life's realities. Whether it's maintenance, child arrangements, or other court issues, courts aim to protect fairness as circumstances evolve. Ignoring a divorce court order can lead to serious consequences. Let's talk about committal proceedings. When someone intentionally disobeys a court order, like refusing to pay maintenance, denying child access, or failing to transfer property, it may amount to contempt of court. To start committal proceedings, the affected party must get permission or leave from the court by showing a strong case. Once approved, the court reviews the breach and it asks 2 key questions. Was the order clear? And was the breach intentional? Penalties can include fines, imprisonment, or other consequences. For example, in one case, an ex-wife was fined $5,000 for violating an order but avoided jail because of medical reasons. Committal isn't just about punishment, it also ensures compliance and upholds the authority of the courts, protecting the rights of everyone involved. How do courts determine if someone is guilty of contempt? Let's dive into the process. To prove contempt, the complainant must show a few things. Number 1, the court order was clear and unambiguous. Number 2, the breach was intentional and the person knew their actions violated the order. For example, failing to pay maintenance due to financial hardship might not qualify as contempt, but deliberately hiding funds to avoid payment would. In one case, a husband's failure to return personal items wasn't deemed contempt because the order's wording was unclear. Courts are cautious and careful with contempt rulings, ensuring that the breach was deliberate and harmful. This approach balances fairness while enforcing compliance with legal orders. What's the purpose of committal proceedings in divorce cases? It's more than just about punishment. It's also about compliance. Committal proceedings enforce compliance with court orders. When someone ignores a maintenance order, denies child access, or fails to transfer assets, courts can step in with fines, imprisonment, or other measures. For example, in one case, an ex-wife who violated a court order faced a week in prison, but the sentence was reduced to a fine due to medical reasons. The court prioritized the seriousness of the breach while also considering the individual's circumstances. Committal proceedings deter misconduct and ensure that orders are ultimately respected. The focus is always on fairness, protecting families, and upholding justice without unnecessary punishment.